Just imagine your trip being ruined before it even begins. TSA's new updated carry-on regulations are even more restrictive than ever before. But what are these restrictions? Even though this particular item is for your health, comfort, and safety, your mosquito spray might just cost you your flight. Imagine heading to a tropical paradise and boldly stashing your favorite bug spray. But at the TSA, what they see isn't a mosquito shield, but a mini firebomb. If you'd plan to travel with it, then be prepared to surrender your defense against the jungle at the security table. These sprays are highly flammable inside a pressurized cabin. Even the smallest leak could create a serious hazard. The TSA is taking no chances, so it's just better to be safe than sorry, and honestly, you really can't blame them for this one. If bug spray didn't make the cut, what else is on that list? Alcohol lovers, brace yourselves. Not all spirits are welcome at 30,000 feet. Turns out you can't bring anything over 140 proof on your carry-on or check bags. So be like me and just double check your suitcase before your next flight. So if you plan on gifting a small batch 151 proof rum, just be warned that the TSA is not going to be smiling because it's too volatile. That fancy spirit stays firmly grounded. You can't travel with it, but they can sure drink it. But what happens if instead of booze, you forgot something much more dangerous in your bag, like, actual ammunition? Now this one, believe it or not, has caused more airport delays than you would think. Yes, people still pack bullets in their carry-on, even though everybody knows that ammo is prohibited. I know what you're thinking. What about empty or spent casings? Well, if they resemble bullets, prepare for extra screening. So it's best to ship it or check it with proper declaration. You're gonna think it's common sense to know why this rule is necessary, but a lot of passengers, they still break it. The ammo rule is understandable, but some consider the next rule simply extreme. I know what you're thinking. No chopping tools allowed in carry-on. Yeah, the TSA's not gonna have it, whether it's a decorative Viking axe tucked inside a cosplay fan's backpack or just a normal axe. It's gonna be a long lecture, but you can be sure of one thing, that axe, not gonna make it. Now, I know it sounds absurd, at least until it happens, so it's better to avoid the embarrassment beforehand. Now, if that sounds wild, just sit tight because it gets weirder. Everybody enjoys bang snaps, aka poppers, even though they're tiny, harmless looking, they could still make your airport trip go pop. A harmless box of snaps can suddenly turn into a major security incident. Pop goes your surprise and possibly your flight plans. Now, believe it or not, these are often found during holiday travel. Parents pack them for fun, only to watch the TSA treat them like a grade 1 explosive. Bang snaps are completely banned in both carry-on and checked luggage. Now, we're not done yet, because just when passengers seem to have adjusted to these restrictions, TSA just dropped another bombshell. What TSA officials see as America's favorite pastime in their living rooms, they also see as a weapon if carried into an airplane. Now, you might feel like buying a souvenir Major League Baseball bat at the gift shop, but if you buy one, don't be surprised if you're compelled to leave it behind. A passenger could try to argue that a child-sized bat is just a toy, but the TSA will still confiscate it, proving size doesn't matter when it comes to potential weapons. Now this item might seem a little shocking, but the next ban had even the frequent flyers shaking their heads. If you rely on a power chair, you're going to want to listen closely. Although it's not completely banned, it is allowed with restrictions. Imagine arriving with your power wheelchair only to be told the battery has to come out and ride with you while the chair goes underneath. That could definitely be disturbing. So it's better to check ahead of time for specific instructions before you leave, just in case you have to do something special for your medical equipment. The TSA is pretty firm on this one. They concluded that lithium batteries must be removed and carried in the cabin, so devices have to be secured with protected terminals. Now, this isn't even the strangest item on the list. Our next one is just flat out unbelievable. You might think that it's just something to use to have fun or a recreational item, but the TSA considers it extremely dangerous, aka a weapon in disguise. Bowling balls are banned from carry-on. They're categorized as blunt objects. Even though some of those rules can be irritating, just remember, the TSA isn't trying to make travel harder, they're trying to make it safer for everyone. So don't even bother bringing your lucky ball, even if you're a professional bowler and you claim your ball as your emotional support animal. The TSA, they're not going to buy that excuse. Instead, they're just going to confiscate it. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, well, you're never going to guess the innocent object that won't get you past security. No, you can't have the ball, and no, TSA doesn't want the pins either. It's just not an option because they resemble club-like items. It is possible to shrug and laugh when somebody mentions airport bowling alley, but for the TSA, a bowling pin isn't funny at all. Imagine a family returning from a vacation, and hidden in the side of one carry-on, protruding slightly, is a bowling pin retrieved from a local alley. The traveler claims it's just a memento, a piece of wood for memories. But as soon as the TSA sees it, well, alarm bells go off. Obviously, this is worth paying attention to. So if you're thinking of bringing a team souvenir pin, just be reminded that according to the TSA, it's an aisle weapon. Although many ones can be smaller than your phone, it can still cause a security nightmare bigger than you think. And if you thought bowling gear was ridiculous, the next one comes straight out of a fantasy novel. It sounds like something out of Robin Hood, The Lord of the Rings, or maybe even The Hunger Games. But believe it or not, travelers have actually shown up at airport security checkpoints carrying full bows and arrows. Now, some of them try sneaking on board. Other travelers claim the bow was just a prop. TSA replied, not at 35,000 feet it's not. TSA officers are trained to treat anything that looks like a weapon as highly incriminating. It doesn't matter if it's a collector's item, a sports trophy, or even a kid's costume prop. If it can shoot, stab, or intimidate, it stays out of the cabin, period. Now, here's the important detail most travelers don't know. Bows and arrows aren't banned entirely, they just have to be packed correctly. You can check them in with your luggage, provided that they're secured, sheathed, and packed to avoid injuries during transport. That way, archery enthusiasts, hunters, and performers can still fly with their gear, but never in the overhead bin. The rule on this one is very clear and very simple. No bows and no arrows allowed in your carry-on. Travel is meant to be smooth, not an airport adventure full of constant security checks and hazards. But if you do accidentally pack a bowling ball or even a bowling pin, well, at least you've got one heck of a TSL story to tell all your friends at the next alley. So what do you think? Are some of these rules more intriguing or are they incredibly annoying? Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe now so you'll never get caught off guard by those sneaky TSA agents again. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.